Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us for another episode of 411 Pop Culture, where real people talk about really everything. I'm Justin, this is Danielle, and tonight we are going to watch for the first time Flowers in the Attic: The Origin, Part 3. Very excited. Are you excited?
I am so pumped right now.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they're going to continue on with the Corrine. I think Christopher is going to finally make an appearance. At the end of the last episode, Alicia popped in, which was different than the novel, so I'm very excited. I know a lot of fans out there are having mixed emotions. Some of you are loving the changes. Some of you are very traditional in terms of you want very much the book to be translated to screen, and I get that. For me personally, as long as they're covering the main arcs, I'm fine with some tweaks here and there. Again, I really loved from last time the idea of Corrine poisoning Malcolm. I just thought that was a fun little thing that's true to her character and explains her impulse to maybe do that. We appreciate all the comments, by the way, so many. I will try and get to each and every one of them. One fun thing is hopefully in the next part, because Flowers87, who also has a great YouTube channel, he's the one, it's all VC Andrews oriented, but primarily focused on the 87 movie. He's the one that had the filming locations and all that. He and I were discussing on his channel, and go check it out, it's great, but he and I were discussing maybe some of the filler, and we were talking about how it might be cool, we might get to see a little bit more of the kids kind of coming, because there is a shot in one of the trailers that shows the 4 kids up in the attic. Obviously not Kieran and Shipka and that crew, but it's going to show some of that, so we were trying to think, oh, they might show a little bit more of the private investigator, but actually show it. Maybe even for me personally, I'd love to see a moment where the scene in Flowers in the Attic where Kathy discovers the twins are going to be born and she gets all jealous and stuff, because you could kind of show that from the private investigator as a voiceover, but then you actually get to see it, because they need to fill some of this out, because part 3, we're pretty much nearing the end of the novel, so of Garden of Shadows. But anyway, we're super excited to see what's to come. As always, if you like what you're seeing, please comment below, please hit that like button, and please subscribe. But are you ready?
I am so ready.
We will not hold you in suspense. Let's get started with Flowers in the Attic: The Origin, Part 3. And as some of you probably noticed, I changed my shirt. It was a little too hot up here. Trust me, for your sake, I needed to change it.
I'm so excited!
Me too. Yeah, I am super curious to see this Alicia, what's going to happen with this. Because I think in the novel, she died of breast cancer by the, and that's kind of why Christopher came back. So Corrine, to having a fit. Oh, and they're those dolls, the dressed-in dolls. I think that's what the whole doll thing is supposed to be like. The dressed-in dolls foreshadowing that she's going to smash, essentially. Yeah. Even though they look more like Tatterton portrait dolls, but I think that's a good foreshadowing element too. Well, she's feeling real sorry right now about life, so hopefully she treats her like a decent human being this time. Olivia.
You must believe me, I am not here to exhume our past. I am here to put it to rest. Because I have cancer.
So they're just having her tell them in person.
Christopher.
Which I think is appropriate for an adaptation.
Yeah. I believe it, my son, the doctor. You must realize how dire things are for me to be on your doorstep.
And when he's in medical school now.
Yeah.
I have little time left and even less.
Well, in the book, he was a doctor, but he could, once they changed their name, he could practice.
I mean, I was just saying he's young. He's already in medical school now at this point. Oh, but yeah.
There she goes.
And with Malcolm saying that, it'll have to work. I believe that is more like how it was in Flowers Attic, where Corrine related that they treated him like the poorest of relatives, which in, Garden of Shadows, he was treated just like one of the boys, one of the family.
I'm surprised to see them dining together.
Well, I think it's just to show more her submissive. Now she's trying to be the wife.
One thing could remain certain. Can't keep me locked up in this house forever. It's up to your father.
I don't like that at all.
I don't either. I knew she had to submit to him at some point because of their relationship, at the beginning of Flowers in the Attic.
Right.
But I still like she runs that damn house. Like
Right.
I want Olivia.
Yeah.
So maybe you could give me the key to the swan room and I could have a look through grandmother's old things for some inspiration.
Why don't you visit the shops?
Oh, she played him.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't sound.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I could ask Joel to stop playing his piano for a bit and take me.
Would not be a gift to us at all.
What a jerk. But great manipulation on her part.
Oh,
So
yeah,
very
absolutely.
Corrine-esque. Well, he seems to have forgiven her everything by now. Which
Yeah.
I guess is true. It's, daddy's
Yeah.
little girl type thing. But
Mhm.
And get away with the lights and let secret dalliances while I'm stuck at home listening to the world on the radio.
No, that's just because since now, right?
Mm.
Cool. Why won't you tell me about her?
oh, okay, so she doesn't know.
This is what's up.
It'll be interesting if Joel gets to meet Christopher, because I believe in the novel he died
Yeah.
Is it because I know her?
by then.
Keep trying.
All grown up.
You were right. She came back in some kind of capacity.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
I'm like, just her casting, I could imagine was that little of a part. It would be just that little.
Yeah.
Mm.
Looking for some.
Christopher?
Yeah, I think that's him.
Mhm.
Not anymore.
Mhm.
Sir, I'm helping the young lady.
Great casting.
Mhm. Well, I like how they gave him sort of that yellow, like their hair should
Yeah.
be more flaxen blonde, but they gave him the same like yellow gold that they
Yeah.
did for the Lifetime version of him.
Very attractive.
Yeah, he's a Christopher.
Oh, absolutely.
I can mend it in just a moment. Go right
And I like how he does look older than her.
Mhm.
and take your time.
And it bodes well for the fact that they don't know who each other are,
Yes.
so they could be. It's less tawdry, I guess.
Yeah.
And exposed.
And I know a lot of people are gonna have issues because their introduction's not how it was in either novel, Flowers or Garden,
Mhm.
where he was coming down the stairs or she was coming down the stairs, and they met with each other's eyes, and then
Yeah,
they
still
were
did
introduced.
here. Yeah.
No, I mean I like this just as much.
Yeah.
I said I don't mind
Well,
some changes.
it gives that acceptance factor of how they could have developed feelings before knowing they were related, so it almost makes it okay.
Exactly
if you
right.
will.
Yeah.
Well, I may not be able to suit the issue of comfort.
And he definitely looks a lot more handsome than Chris Sr. from the Lifetime.
Oh,
Flowers.
absolutely.
Like the other guy was fine, but the '87 version I could buy it.
Yes.
The Lifetime version I was like, he's a little nerdy. I don't know, so but like this looks like
yes.
what Chris should
Great
look like.
casting,
Yeah.
Lifetime. Great casting this time around. I'm really loving the casting of all the characters.
Me too. I think they did. They got back on
Mal,
track.
The second.
Sure, yeah, a little iffy.
yeah.
He pulled it off in the end, I guess.
He did.
But they did a much better job this time around, I think.
Absolutely. They're getting the hair right.
At least.
Right.
And a much better
Just not the
Foxworth
North
Hall.
Wing. Yes.
Right. Flowers '87, and I were talking about that too. Just like, how do you like it's such a thorn then that sticks out. Like it's the North Wing.
Maybe because the house is flatter, they had to do east and west because it doesn't really come out like north. You know how you were saying it looks more flat.
Well, then call one the North and one the
South.
yeah.
Oh, Malcolm.
But it's true. Foxworth Hall is supposed to be almost like a cross shape, and it's all joined by a big giant rotunda.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Yeah. This is
Oh, no.
Oh.
I am so nervous right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, the gay element, the race element, the time period. Malcolm is going to go ballistic.
Yep.
Where is it you truly want to go?
Maybe Joel never was a monk.
Right.
I mean, they always said that, right? But
yeah. Well, he's Doesn't look like he's going to be here, but I don't see why he wouldn't be in the novels. Is that what you mean in the novels? He was never a monk?
Yeah, but he was always effeminate in the novels, and I can't imagine him being a monk and then coming back to be Joel from Seeds of Yesterday. So maybe he never really was a monk. You know?
Like he just said he was?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Well, but at that time, too, though, people that were gay probably did go into something like that, you know, for celibacy and stuff. But I can see that being valid.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Malcolm's going to walk in.
Yup.
Oh, God. Oh, my Lord.
Please, quit that racket.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
He's going to lose his damn mind. Maybe that's why he left to be a monk.
Right? Oh, maybe, yeah.
I told you all about piano playing and making.
I'll talk to him.
I will take care of it. You've already done enough.
I'm surprised. I like the dynamic. He came to Olivia immediately to complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
I am liking a little bit of that dynamic. I'm not liking this.
That would be so scary. I can't even imagine how scary.
That's terrifying. Oh my God. And Mal, I mean, he could have planted anything. You know, he's the pillar
Right.
of the community. Like,
Even if he wasn't, he could buy them all off.
yep. It's either going to be horrifyingly terrible or they're going to brush past this and it's not going to be. Maybe.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
With your hands off, we don't touch it.
Mrs. Foxworth, you know I
Come on, Joel.
steal from anyone. She can speak to his character.
Say something.
Please.
I don't think we know this.
No, 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 no.
Joel could have
Joel
just said,
said, say something.
I bought that for him. He did. He fixed my car, and I bought it for him.
Oh my God.
I get he's afraid of his dad and stuff, but like, that's his daughter there too. That's the woman he raped. Well, how
Mhm.
awful! I'm just feeling so awful right now
Yeah.
in a lot of different
Made me
ways.
so sick. Oh, this is going to be awkwardness.
Corrine,
Awkward.
Right.
I'd like you to meet your Uncle Christopher.
I mean, brother.
Pleasure to finally meet you. Uncle
Charity?
Malcolm.
Of course not. I hope you are prepared to work in exchange for your tuition. In the office, you will be helping out with the yard work. Taking my dress last night. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I have like zero sympathy for Joel right now. He could have said something. Should have said something.
Yep. How awkward for Christopher.
Show your uncle to the
But I think it's more accurate to at least how Corrine described how he was treated,
Mm-hmm.
at least at first, where it was,
Yeah.
you know, he was forced to kind of be treated as like a poor relative.
Yeah.
Is the piano the only instrument I can play?
Although there was always sort of, I forget, and I can't quote it or anything, but I do feel like there was somewhat of a hint from V.C. Andrews that he did kind of come back a little bit for his own revenge. Like Alicia told him stuff, and that's a bit of why Malcolm was so against him, because he felt like he intentionally did come in to steal Corrine or do something
Right.
to get back at them. I feel like that is a part of Somewhere in Flowers and Attic.
This wasn't Harry's.
Or Petals on the Wind.
There's no way Alicia would, or Olivia would be on board with that.
On board with what?
Joel
Someone they love is hurting.
being gay.
Oh, no, I agree. Unfortunately, but I do agree.
Yeah.
I like the upholstery in the car, though.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a way to sneak in, you might try through the kitchen. If But now maybe I won't tell you that.
He's very charming.
Mm-hmm.
Treatment available.
I think we saw in the
Yeah.
trailer he was like getting electric shocks, which is a very much callback to Virginia Andrews and My Sweet Audrina.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, she's working at the office,
Yeah.
the doctor's office. What is she up to, Mrs. Steiner?
Right.
We are.
And well, what happened to him? I want to know what happened to
Probably
Harry.
got arrested.
To the station. You can drop the charges against him immediately.
Yeah, he's at this. He's
We're
arrested.
leaving to spend some time, get it out of you,
Ugh.
and you will recover. And then you will return. Drop the charges against Harry.
Right, a little bit back on Joel's side again now. The
I
whole
don't think
thing-
Malcolm would have dropped the charges.
I don't know. He might have to make a deal.
Yeah.
I know your father's plan seems safe.
Well, it just goes to show how powerful Malcolm is because, like, Nella, all of them could do a lot to, like,
Mhm.
damage his so-called reputation.
It's just
But at the same time, he's not even worried about that. He knows
Right.
nobody's going to believe it. Oh, it's crazy.
Because it's just so.
Good night.
I'm enjoying the really, like, the development between
Yeah.
them.
Oh.
It's just terrible. At least she did this.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how terrifying that would be.
Oh, this is gonna be awful. Just awful.
And this is how it was back then.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh. Why did they ever think this would work? Like,
Maybe
why?
It's just so people would say, I'm not anymore. Just and then
Yeah,
live that
I
life so they wouldn't have to
guess.
go through
Oh
it
my
again.
god. Oh, it's just horrific.
Supposed to be my first dance.
Your ball will be just as good without him. Maybe better.
Hmm.
Prick.
Yep. Harry, you don't owe her an explanation.
After him, I remembered who I was.
Finally.
His provider. Taking so long.
I believe he's gonna be alright.
I guess I didn't think of Foxworth Hall being hot.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what she
But
said.
that's what she
yeah.
said, yeah.
And again, it's just to remind us of all the conditions
Yeah.
that the kids had to go through. And flowers in the attic.
I can't take care of Joel or your son went to you, so if you won't do this for me,
At least she admitted that.
Yeah. This is so out of character for Olivia, though. I just don't see any of it happening.
Right. I don't know. She
Where's
did
your
love
boy?
Joel and
She did,
Nell a
but she
lot.
wouldn't be
I
emotional.
don't know. I don't know.
Malcolm.
But again, we know what's going to kind of, something's going to happen to him eventually, which is going to make her again think that what she did in these moments was wrong. So it's like, I think she has to go through this, even though these are the right things to do,
Mhm.
in her eventually warped mind, she's going to look back and be like, oh, these were the wrong things to do.
Yeah. Oh, Christopher.
To the next.
Such a good guy, Christopher.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, but I mean, I want to see more of the story of like what we know.
I agree.
Like,
I am enjoying seeing all this,
Yes.
and I'm interested in it, but at the same time, I want
Yes.
the story. I
Yes.
want to get to the stuff
I
we
completely
know.
agree with you. Completely agree with you. I mean, maybe this is also building some backstory for Christopher,
Sure, just how
and his
wonderful
kindness.
he was.
Right. Why him and Corrine got so close.
Yeah. No, because it did look like Corrine was trying to not
Yes.
be interested in him,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, she knows it's wrong.
Well, I always interpreted it as Christopher was the one that needed the convincing, not her.
Mm.
Like, I always thought it was more her maybe rebel.
Look at her
too.
being asking about Joel.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has. Isn't that right, Malcolm?
I should get to work.
And this also shows you why she doesn't like her
She's
father.
thinking about poisoning again.
Right.
She's like, I need some berries.
Mm.
Give me some donuts. Some sugar. Does Daddy like donuts?
Stop. You're terrible, Miriam.
You let this happen.
Mm.
Well, this is now definitely developing
Yeah.
their issues.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe there is some truth behind that.
You know, some people were criticizing about Olivia's height in this, and I'm looking now and I'm like, oh yeah, Corrine is looking taller than her. The grandmother's supposed to be super tall, but
Yeah.
that is in line with the Lifetime adaptation because Heather Graham was obviously taller than Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah.
But that's also why Louise Fletcher will always be the best.
Right.
Oxford Hall in the rain and lightning
Mhm.
makes it look a little bit darker.
Is Malcolm a cowboy?
Easy there, Danielle.
Malcolm's a cowboy. Oh.
Yeehaw.
And Christopher.
And I guess they would probably ride horses and stuff at this point.
I
Like,
guess.
oh.
Oh no. What is she up to?
She's up to something.
Definitely.
And others we couldn't even dream of.
Well, because she would know that he was let out,
Yeah.
and she definitely wants, Olivia to pay.
I should have took the cups. I gave it to him.
You should have.
Yep.
Things worse for both of us.
I don't know about that.
Just look at this.
Exactly.
Look at us.
This wasn't the book.
Mm-mm. But I'm curious to see how it'll play out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there probably wasn't that much in the book, was there? With them
No,
kind
I
of
mean, it was
courting?
literally like
Yeah.
he was off there. They went to dinner occasionally.
Yeah.
Then, John Amos was always spying on them, caught him swimming, caught him in the swan room,
Yeah.
and that was it.
I thought you were a doctor.
So it's more to develop, all. Like, and I'm glad to see all this. And it might have more of an effect too now when we go back to watch like Flowers of the Attic, the Lifetime adaptation, to really see Chris, what happens with him and stuff, like how sad it is.
Yeah.
Used to come here with my
He is a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. You can relax.
life.
Actually, you ruined my shirt.
Yeah.
It's wrapped around your leg.
Yeah.
So I guess I owe you.
For some.
Please don't let Malcolm.
That's
walk in
all I
there.
was thinking. It's exactly what I was
Like,
thinking.
please, God, just don't ruin it. Don't ruin it right now. I don't think he will because he would have shipped Christopher off in 2 seconds.
Right. Nope. Oh,
All right, break it up, break it up, break it up.
Right. Pay attention. Pull away.
Faster.
She's in it.
Are you alright? Can you walk? Lay down, please, Daddy.
See, and if this had all been condensed down to even just one movie, maybe the two, that would have been so rushed.
Yeah.
But it was allowed to pace itself and play out.
So sorry.
It's one of the things I loved about.
Well,
Get out of here,
Malcolm.
Malcolm. Nobody's interested. But one of the things I liked so much about Pearl and the Mist, the adaptation,
Uh-huh.
was that because there was less going on, they were able to smooth out the end of that and give this little montagey moment and stuff that was really sweet
Yeah.
and like a film.
Yeah.
Ever, thank you.
There's no need. Food safety's all I care about. Well, good night. Have a really start tomorrow. No, you don't. You know how to work for me. You have more than paid your debt.
Yeah, I figured
Okay,
this was going to
okay.
change how he kind of looked at him.
Good.
What do we stumble into in that storm?
Words like
It
stumble.
can never happen again.
Make it sound like it was an accident.
Gosh, she does look a little like
I'm your
Heather Graham,
Yeah.
and even sounds a little like her
Mhm.
at times.
And what's great is that's how I picture her when I read the books.
Yeah.
Just trying to make sure you are all right.
I guess you were right. Christopher is resisting.
Yes, which I feel is how it should be.
Yeah.
What about Christopher? Many debutantes have used their uncles for their first dance.
Mm-hmm.
Fathers.
It should be some credit. Christopher is a part of our family.
And look how much they kind of do look alike too for the whole brother sister
Yeah.
aspect of things.
Christopher, would you do Corrine the honor?
That was awkward.
Yeah,
On
but
so many levels.
it was like reading the novel in a way that it's like somebody's about to be set off at any moment. You never
Mhm.
know.
Work's changed. You don't.
So was he the guy that got her pregnant?
He's still the same person. To find you.
Yeah.
Remember that. And remember what we had to do because of it.
So she must be doing that to get back at Malcolm. Or no, he doesn't know who that was.
Right.
Well, he's not a stupid man, though.
But I think she's doing it more to make Christopher jealous.
What a surprise.
Of course.
I want to make this brief, Mrs. Foxworth.
She's just making herself right at home. Freaking that.
I'm sorry, but Olivia and or Malcolm would snap her in half.
Yeah, right.
These people don't get blackmailed.
Mm-hmm.
They are the blackmailers. Like, what is she thinking?
Yeah. This would be
I
the
want-
time for
yes.
Olivia to go to Malcolm and be like, you need to deal with this.
We're gonna really see Olivia come out. Sorry. Oh, good. You called
Okay.
it.
She does, and she's threatening to ruin our...
I mean, depending how this plays out, but then at least it's still hitting the same arc. He's gonna leave.
Yeah.
But it also fundamentally plays into the issue of Garden of Shadows versus Flyers of the Attic, because he's supposed to go off to become a monk,
Yeah.
which in Flyers of the Attic is very much the whole religious element, and in Garden of Shadows they don't really play into the religious element until much later. They don't become fanatics.
Right.
But in Flyers of the Attic, it's implied they always
Right.
were, you know? So
Right.
it's I have mixed emotions about it. In the same way I did reading Garden of Shadows, where they don't, like, really, you know...
Yeah.
Well, at least this is true. Like, you know, that was the whole thing. They were always swimming. It was always a very reoccurring theme in Garden of Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wonder if this is supposed to be like the same lake
It is.
that Christopher and Kathy
Yeah.
find, which I love that they included that in
Yes.
the Lifetime adaptation.
What is this?
Her debutante ball.
Oh, but
it's her
Joel's there.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, he's leaving. I wonder if
Joel, you got to get out of there.
Well, he's going to try to play, and he's probably not going to be able to.
I'm sure he'll find a piano, but he's got to get out of there. It's just so risky right now.
Malcolm might be at the office.
Maybe. Hopefully. I feel like he's always working from his office.
Or
Yeah.
Malcolm's not working at the office.
Or maybe he's just going to come stand up to his dad, which he should do anyway. Like I throw back. He did in the novel, I believe.
Yeah.
Threw it all back at him.
You were no longer my son. We were never much of a father to me anyway.
Good for him.
You out of my will. I don't want your money.
It was me. I brought him home.
Good for her.
Well, he's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Fixing him.
We were breaking him.
No, you already did. Just like you broke her on the sun.
Mel's death was an accident.
Was it? You are a curse on this family.
It's fiancé.
Good.
Joel was tortured because you couldn't love him who he is. Corrine fell into the arms of another man because she was running from yours. You are the curse, Malcolm. You are the storm.
Good.
Oh!
Jeez.
Damn! I feel like he punched her. It looked like a punch.
It was a punch.
She wasn't lying.
Right? I'm glad that it was thrown back in his face.
Yeah.
How awful. That's such a typical man reaction like that.
I was thinking just yours.
That's sweet.
Well, and I think this goes back to us questioning the monk thing in general with the books, but I think for the Lifetime adaptation, it makes sense why they didn't bring him back for Seeds of Yesterday, because maybe they're just going to have him.
We'll see. A lot can happen still to him.
Over your trust right now.
I mean, yeah, I'm going back and forth in my mind with what you were saying earlier. I just out of context it is for her to be so accepting of all this. At the same time, she really did love her sons, and it changed the way she looked at things. So I'm going back and forth like a ping pong in my head.
Yep. But again, like we said, a lot of this was brushed over in the novel.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and it was also the time when the novel was written.
Yeah.
Those novels are 40 years ago.
Well, that, and we didn't get to see a lot of the youth, and maybe that's where most of the love was shown there, and not much later. But now they're having to show.
Well, especially because I think and just in general, not with all the race and the gay stuff, but like showing this side of Olivia would have been hard. I'm seeing the comment sections; people are struggling with seeing this from her, and it is easier in a novel to kind of edit that down to just the facts of.
I want to see if Malcolm put this woman in her place.
Yeah, right.
A pleasure to work together again after all.
What you fail to understand about threatening my name is I no longer have a son. So you can blab to whoever you like.
Dress. It was supposed to arrive yesterday.
I have bad news for them. The mother.
What a jerk.
How?
Don't worry. Because I have one last surprise.
He's going to let her wear something. I mean, I think I saw that in the trailer.
I feel like he's going to let her go in the swan room and pick something.
Yeah. I think I saw that in the trailer because she ends up looking like the painting or.
Oh, okay.
It's distracting. Not tonight.
Yeah. Is anybody at the party?
Right.
And I do like that, like, all the people are showing up in their cars. Like, it was definitely how they talked about, like, they had these magnificent parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, here he is being a creep up
I
in
was
the attic.
just going to say it.
But I'm anticipating it's a party, so something's going to happen. Something always happens at a party.
Malcolm, we know you have mommy issues.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting seeing him up in the attic.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't ever think of him as ever going up there.
Why would she even be there, though?
Right. Well, and I think, and now that I'm thinking back, like the whole Alicia thing, like, and your question about him knowing if the kids were there makes a lot of sense. Like, he knows, he had to have known. I can't imagine he would know.
Mrs. Alicia Foxworth's daughter.
Uh-oh.
Now, how the hell would she know that? Oh, she worked at that doctor's office. That was the doctor.
Right.
That she paid off.
Right. Well, and she was kind of there for the beginning of it.
Yeah.
That's when she got fired.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, see, I knew she was going to have a much bigger role.
Miss Foxworth. I intend to.
She definitely has a great Olivia. She could be, the grandmother.
Yeah.
I like this. We got this marriage. Let's discuss this in private, shall we?
think Olivia's going to be naughty here instead of
Yeah.
Malcolm.
Maybe some poison.
Yep.
You think such awful rumors. Dr. Curtis keeps detail. You work for Dr. Curtis. His notes go all the way back to the night you called him to the house to look at a pregnant woman who fell
So you were right, it was the doctor's records.
where he recorded the woman's delusional rantings. Tip the scale, Mrs. Fox. I mean, look at your daughter, then look at you.
Ouch, I knew it was going to be something like that.
Yeah.
You're a monster.
Olivia really hasn't been a monster yet, though.
3,000 then.
From Mrs. Steiner's perspective, though.
Yeah. Or she'll be waiting
She's
for
gonna
you
get
to
something
die.
else. Yeah, right. So lock her in there or something? Yeah.
Corrine, darling, not now. I have something very important I need to
The name of the
discuss.
episode's The Murderer, so
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
she does kill her.
Christopher.
And it would make sense because Mrs. Steiner isn't part of the novel.
Right.
So she could...
It would be my honor.
So far, this episode, though, has been the most unlike the not. Like, it's all the new stuff they
Yes.
added that's being played out, which makes sense for the
Yeah.
fourth move, like the fourth part being
Kind of the wrap up.
right.
I thought it was the same for myself.
I like how this is developing and playing out
Me too.
right in front of them too. Like,
Right.
There is no worse pain than me. Yes.
that could have gone wrong.
It could have gone wrong on so many levels.
So lavish.
Ew. Ooh, creepy!
What's expecting you to make?
Made his intentions clear. You abandoned me to that career because you belong to me.
Well, and that was how he was too. I
Yeah.
mean, he was always promising her everything and stuff, but I don't know. I like that they've taken it even a little darker
Corrine,
in this.
you were incredible, but I really must speak with your father. When you find someone you really love, I will support you no matter what.
Hmm.
This was supposed to be my night.
Oh, Corrine.
Mrs. Steiner's here. I've locked her in the library.
Why did you do that?
Corrine,
Knows about what?
I'm curious though what he did to the guy, Rockford or whatever.
Somebody's a murderer. They both are murderers. I don't know.
you're an animal. I apologize for how you expect me to trust you after you kept me locked in that closet for an hour. And what's to stop me from going out there right now and make a little toast of my own? Just know.
I feel like that bottle is some kind of symbolism.
Yeah.
It's all I have. A life built on lies. What do you know about love? Do you think Garland ever loved you in return? No, my apologies. You knew him as Mr. Foxworth, and he knew you. She was going to tell everyone.
This Olivia does do things though, like she shoved Alicia down and stuff.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh!
and this is gonna come off weird or wrong, but I was hoping it would be him that killed her.
Yeah.
I was like, because it's you have to stay true to Olivia that she
Yeah.
was never a murderer. Like that was kind of a big point of Flowers.
With him wrapping his arms around her too, though, by the phone, I don't think he would have done that.
What?
Like when he kind of put his arms over Olivia to grab the phone. They had like an intimate
Oh,
moment
see, I
there.
think that it's like developing their intimacy between each other. The reason why she stays when he has a stroke, when he, you know, the moments they have in Flowers the Attic and at the Christmas party and all that, the love she clearly eventually has for him in a way.
Yeah.
guests away. Shall we?
Yeah, see, I think it's supposed to develop that. Or even like Louise Fletcher says, I will spare him that final agony of shame. Like there's something that develops. It's this side of it too. Whatever she's willing to kind of go a little maniacal on somebody and he finishes it up, it's what attracts him to her, it seems like, and vice versa in a way. In a very twisted, messed up, macabre way. But that kind of works for the grandparents, doesn't it? Yeah, see, exactly, like...
Right.
Because I think it's something we forget reading Garden of Shadows because she comes to hate him so much.
Yeah.
But in Flowers of the Attic, it does seem like they loved each other, or, you know.
Yeah.
What? It's none of my business.
Oh, dear Lord.
And I wonder if they are going to go with the Flowers of the Attic, they elope and come back version, or the Garden of Shadows, they're caught in the Swan Room version. This is obviously so, you know, not something that would happen, but I don't know. I'm not totally opposed to it either, though.
Back-breaking work.
I'm kind of enjoying their dynamic.
Exactly. For this version of it, I'm not minding it. Like, because again, it's still, we have everything else. As long as we don't lose any, the essential stuff, I'm always kind of okay with other kind of changes. It's like watching True Blood for me. The novels, they always began somewhere and ended somewhere different than the show did, but the middle was always different. The beginning and end, though, were always the same somehow, and I like that. Well, and it sort of shows the fact that they're willing to bury children on, you know, people on the grounds of Foxworth Hall, and I mean, I guess that's more of an 87 thing. So, Mermaiden, you might appreciate this sort of prequel-esque to 87's film. See, yeah, because they do kind of love each other when things get twisted. And it's the thing that makes her take care of him.
Yeah.
When he has a stroke.
Well, she was protecting Corrine, so she gets rewarded.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, it's all twisted.
Yeah.
Oh, is she gonna catch yet? I'm wondering if they're gonna catch them.
You think?
Well, they were making out in the middle of everything. Yeah, I'm nervous. She's doing nothing.
Yes, I'm nervous myself. I don't want her to catch him yet. I want her to sneak around a little bit.
Yeah.
We have something for episode 4.
Right.
You know? Or she sees him and doesn't say anything.
Right, which I could see them doing here. Which is why she ends up feeling more betrayed as Olivia.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. She's about to catch him. And see, John Amos... Now, this I do have an issue with, because John Amos is supposed to be around here, layering around by this point.
But I was...
No.
Oh, no.
Each and every one of Foxworth Hall's doors would fly open. House can be many things besides a home.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Or a nightmare.
It's a twisted family saga.
There's John.
Okay, there's John Amos. So, yeah. Oh, see, yeah.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
I told you we were going to see some of it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's all going to happen pretty quickly at the beginning there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
All right, so what'd you think, Danielle?
I am loving it. So as we watched it, again, a lot of this episode was stuff that really wasn't in the book, but I think it really tied up a lot of loose ends because they really fast forward through that in the book.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they kind of added some stuff there. I was getting a little impatient, but now after the preview, I'm getting really excited to see they're almost going to go beyond Garden of Shadows and really give us that middle section between Garden of Shadows and Flowers in the Attic. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think that I know a lot of people are some are very much embracing the changes, some are not embracing the changes. I think that I'm okay with the changes for the most part. I think part 3 that we just watched is a lot of the new stuff that has been like foreshadowed throughout really came to play in this episode. And so it was a lot of new stuff. It was, there was the development between Corrine and Christopher, but, otherwise it was Joel with Harry. It was,
Malcolm and Olivia.
Correct. All of that. And, well, the Mrs. Steiner stuff, all that came to a head. Yep. And, people either are going to love it or hate it. I don't think there's going to be any sort of middle on it. I'm fine with it because, again, we're getting a nice slow pace. The other Lifetime adaptations felt so rushed, or like we were just getting like a highlights album. Like instead of the complete cast album of something, we were getting just the best parts. Yeah. And it wasn't feeling like a good movie, which is what the 87 one did. Yeah. It took a lot out, but it felt like the story. And this one is feeling more like the story because it's able to be at a great pace. They've added all this other stuff in, but that's why it's 4 parts instead of just 2 or 3 parts. And so I'm also excited that it looks like from that preview that we're going to see what we were kind of talking about before. We're going to see some of Flowers in the Attic. It's probably going to be like the private investigator found some stuff, but we're going to see the kids as kids, not just where we start with Kathy at 12
we're going to get that gap.
Right. It's all going to be closed.
Yep.
Yeah, and John Amos, I'm excited to see. I will say that's one of my criticisms. I feel like he should have been back by part 3, and how he was always kind of creepily watching Corrine grow up, and that's what makes him just as twisted in If There Be Thorns, that it was sort of hypocritical. He didn't really care about the incest stuff. He only cared because he really wanted to be with Corrine all along. Yeah. And then, he made it so that it seemed like he cared about all this incest and sin.
And I agree with you that he should have been brought back in the 3rd episode because he was really the biblical influence on Olivia and Malcolm.
Exactly.
Both. So that really kind of really twisted them up. And made them fanatics. Yeah. And probably, we saw, at least in this adaptation, Olivia's, she was okay with the homosexuality, all those kind of things, the abortion. So if we're going to follow that same line of thought, you'd think that they would have brought John Amos in now, 3rd episode, to kind of get her to start
counter
changing.
That. Yes. To be like, you're going to be sorry for this, you're going to be sorry for accepting this. Yep. And therefore then she does change so much. I am curious if that's the last we've seen of Joel. I like what they've done with him. I'm all about this, but I do think because then it's going to be like, if they don't finish up with his story, it's going to be like, well, where was he this whole time? Yeah. Whereas in the novels he was dead, and then they brought him back allegedly in Seeds of Yesterday. But you need some sort of finality, or why didn't Corrine turn to him at some point? So I'm hoping they'll wrap that up. But otherwise, I'm still enjoying it. Really liked it. Please let us know what you're thinking. Comment below if you like what you're seeing. Please consider subscribing, and have a good one. John Amos